Southned Hospital has recently banned people from filming the birth of their children on their iPhones. Do you know that? That's not a thing you should have to ban, is it? If you're filming the birth of your child through your iPhone, you're missing the birth of your child. I genuinely don't know when it would be appropriate to show that footage either. Like, can you honestly imagine having the in-laws around and going, oh, should we put it on? Yeah. Oh look, there's Debbie's vagina. I think she's about 4 centimetres dilated there. Never appropriate. Never going to be appropriate. Another thing as well is selfies. You know, the Oxford English Dictionary, they announced the other day that the word selfie was the biggest growing word in the English language in 2013. It grew by 13,500% in the last 12 months. A selfie, if you don't know, is just someone taking a picture of themselves on their phone and sending it to other people. It's ridiculous. And there's a new craze of naked selfies. Like, why are you doing that? You're never going to take a good picture of yourself naked on your iPhone. Who, honestly, wants to see something like this? Nobody. That's all. Nobody. Do they? They don't. They don't. It's not attractive. Is that attractive? No. Hard copies of those two photos are also available. And there will be a slight charge for those. The other thing, it's alright. I know you can't forget that image, but I should have warned you, I didn't, sorry. The other thing is Instagram. You know, Instagram is basically where people, well, I mean, they take pictures of their dinner and they post it on social media. And show of hands in the room here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry, you'll beat the ladies. How many people in here tonight have ever taken a picture of their dinner? It's the ladies. So what's that lady? What's your name? What's your name, sorry? Claire. Claire, what was the dinner you took a picture of? It's all the time, Claire. Nobody cares, Claire. Nobody cares. No, there's never been a situation on a Sunday night where someone's been sitting there on their laptop tapping away and they've gone, fucking hell! Dan, get in here! And Dan's going in, what is it? It's Claire! She's cooked fucking dinner! And Dan's gone, Jesus Christ! Well, I'm glad she took a picture because I would never have fucking believed her otherwise. There's no need. There is no need to ever take a picture of your dinner. And that's your friends applauding that. Stop posting pictures of your dinner, they say. The only reason I ever want to see a picture of your dinner that you've cooked is if it looks like this. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the crabtopus. It is a turkey. It has got crab's legs, it's got octopus coming out the front of it, oh, and 3 rashers of bacon on the top. The only reason you should take a picture of dinner, Claire, is if it looks like that. It should look like it's come out of a Ridley Scott film. That is the only reason. Yeah, to be fair, I don't know, your cooking doesn't look like that, you're right, but it's ridiculous. And also, like, social media, Instagram, all that kind of stuff, it's ludicrous. Like, the thing that's really bothered me is that social media, and Facebook in particular, is ruining my favourite TV programme, which is Who Do You Think You Are? Have you got any big fans of Who Do You Think You Are in the room tonight? Not really. Yeah. If you don't know the programme, Who Do You Think You Are is basically a programme where celebrities, they check their ancestry, their family tree, they look back and they find out some interesting things about them, they talk about it. It's a brilliant show. But that show is going to be dead for future generations. My great-grandchildren, if they ever become famous, they're not going to be able to go on that show. Because they'll go on it and they'll go, yeah, well, we look back through your ancestry, but you know what, we found out everything we need to know in 5 minutes. Because he was constantly on social media. We can see that in 2007, your great-granddad went to Magaluf, or Shagaloof, as he called it, with his friends Dave, Spud, Four Fingers Tony. met some very accommodating ladies, and he took some lovely photos. But we can see it wasn't all roses for your granddad, because shortly after he came home, your granddad spent quite a lot of time in the urinary tract infections clinic, and with something rather nasty burnt off his scrotum. I think you can know too much about your granddad, can't you? I think. Like, I know, for example, that my granddad, he was stationed in Singapore between 1938 and 1940. And I know the kind of things that go on in 1938 to 1940 in Singapore. And I don't want to know what my granddad got up to. What I do know is, my nan and granddad always had a very large collection of ping pong balls. But no ping pong table. So I've tried to grow up. I have. I'm 34, so I've tried to, sort my subconscious mind out, take a bit of ownership of it, and act my age. So the other day, it was a couple of months ago, I did possibly the most grown-up thing I've ever done, and I booked myself in for a prostate exam. I'm in the danger zone. Someone went, they're right to. I assume we all know how a prostate exam takes place, but if you don't, I'll explain to you. There's nothing dirty or funny about it. Simple is, the doctor will pop his finger into your bottom, wriggle it around a little bit. After a few seconds, 99 times out of 100, he says you're fine, you go about your business. So, it's fine. I went to the doctor's, very grown up, very proud of myself. He was brilliant. Right from the start, he put me at ease. He said to me, as I went in there, he went, "You're a little bit uncomfortable, a bit anxious about this." I went, "Yeah, I am actually, Doc, to be honest with you." And I swear this is true. He went, "How do you think I feel? I'm about to put my finger in another man's arsehole." I said, "Fair play, Doc, you win this one." He told me to go behind the curtain, take off my clothes and get up on the bench, right? It was the instant that he poked his head round the curtain, I realised he hadn't meant to take off all of my clothes. Because I was there, stark bollock naked, in the fetal position. I looked back over my shoulder and went, "Oh, he meant keep my top on." As I say, the procedure's very straightforward. He popped his finger in my bottom. It might have been two, I'm not sure. To be honest, it felt like a fist. It's very sensitive down there. And he was wriggling around for a little bit, and then he made a noise that no man ever wants to hear when he's in this position. He just went, "Oh." And he froze. I thought, well, I don't really know how to deal with this situation, to be honest. And a few seconds went by, and I still didn't move. And I thought, I'm going to have to check out what's going on. So I looked over my shoulder, and he was just there, finger still in my bottom, and he was just looking at his watch. And I thought, that's a very odd way of checking my pulse. But he didn't move. A few more seconds went by, and eventually, my eye caught the clock in the corner of the room. And it was at that point that I realised that my subconscious mind had booked me an appointment at the doctor's to get my prostate checked at 11 o'clock on the 11th day of the 11th month. And my doctor was observing a 2-minute silence whilst performing my prostate exam. Even when I try to be grown up, it still gets me. Look, outwardly, I try and act like a grown up, I do, but inwardly, I'm still a child. I do things, I act like a child all the time. I play secret games. Now, men, show of it's normally men in the room, how many men in this room play secret games that no one else knows you're playing? Nobody. And you know why? Because they're secret games. Well done then, you've passed the first test. Apart from Lee Terrell, who failed. That's right. They will stroke about. But it's like, I want us to be able to talk about them, so I will tell you one of the ones I do, and hopefully that will sort of free you up to talk about some of the ones that you do as well. One of my favourite ones to do is, I flush the toilet as I start weeing, and then I race the flush. Anyone else now prepared to admit that they play any secret games? Lee Terrell, you definitely put your hand up. What secret game do you play?
I used to as a kid. It's very liquid in the system.
Very liquid in the system?
So when the next person went, it would flush.
That's just horrible, isn't it? That's a reasonable one. That's not so much a game as just being an arse of the person. Anyone else got anything that they're prepared to admit?
Try and put film quotes and things.
Try and put film, and during the conversation you'll drop a film code. So that's a class, that's a great one as well. Just do that. I also play a game where if I'm in the car in traffic or if I'm walking down the street, I'll give myself 10 people that walk past me and I've got to choose one of them and marry them and spend the rest of my life with them. You ever do that? And it can be, if a woman goes by, you run the risk that the next 9 blokes are going to be blokes. And you have to go, oh well, I've got to pick him now, and you just go off and you marry him. It's just me, isn't it? That's just me. Turns out that's just me. It's fine. What better place to find that out than when you're with 100 other people? It's fine. My classic one, my favourite one, I've done it as long as I remember, about 30 years I guess, and that is stair racing. Anyone do stair racing? That is when you race from the bottom stair to the top stair as fast as you can. And some of you may not know it, but I'm actually the current #1 stair racing world champion. I've been doing it for so long, I've actually developed a little commentary team in my head. There's a main commentator guy, his name's Martin, but there's a co-commentator / analyst, he's Scottish, right? And I'll be there warming up, because I have to warm up before I do it. Genuinely last week I was doing stair racing, I pulled my hamstring. That's how old I've become. I'll be warming up and the first commentator will kick in and he'll say something like, and here we have Frith, 34, but still very much in prime physical shape. And the other guy will kick in and go, that's right, Martin! He may be 34 and can't... He sounds more Scottish in my head, I'm now realising. Should have practiced the accent, it's all right now. He may be 34, he's gone Geordie for fuck's sake. Oh. Imagine he sounds Scottish. He may be 34, Martin, but he's carrying this extra bit of weight round the middle. Yorkshire. But it gives him a very low centre. It gives him a very low centre of gravity. And he goes, oh, that's right. He's still very much the Peter Pan of the sport. And I'll be all right. And I've got a rival, he's a Russian lad, I can't pronounce his name though, it's one of the complicated Russian names. And he has just come back from serving a 6-month ban for using performance-enhancing escalators. So, he's the one to beat, because he's trying to win the crowd over, you know what I mean? He's been training extra hard. And I'll be warming up at the bottom of the stairs, and they'll say, it's good to have Frith back. Of course, he had that year out of the sport while he rented that bungalow. Myself in the zone. Sometimes I spend so much time warming up, my girlfriend will walk into the hall and she'll go, what the fucking hell are you doing? And then the commentator will kick and go, oh no, Martin! There's someone on the pitch! What's he going to do? He's in a very fine, delicate mental position! How's he going to cope? And she'll walk by and I've got to try and shake it off and get back in the zone. So I'm just like, come on. And so what I'll do is, I'll do what an athlete does, I'll try and get the crowd on side and I'll just go, I brace myself and I race to the top of the stairs as fast as I can. He goes, oh Martin, it's unbelievable! It's a new world record! It's incredible! And I go, in your face, Russian lad! It's incredible! But now because I'm 34, I'll often get to the top of the stairs and go, what did I come up here for? The toilets up there, so I'll just come in there. And the Scottish commentator will kick in and go, 3, 2, 1, flush! Oh! So it's never a wasted trip. Never a wasted trip. Yeah, I'm 34. I'm not very social. I've stopped. I've become old before my time. Really. I've stopped socialising with friends. The only